Hello everyone, welcome back to Miss Ming's channel. This is Miss Ming. In my channel, I do vlog videos, makeup videos, fitness videos, and everything I'm passionate about in my life. The purpose of this channel is to promote a healthy, productive, happy, beautiful lifestyle. So if you're interested in these content, if you want to bring some positivity in your life, please subscribe to this channel and ding ding ding, ring the bell for notifications for future uploads so that you don't miss out anything. So this video is very special to me because I'll be talking about 10 things that I learned from my 92-year-old grandpa. So if this is the first time you're in this channel, if you're just getting to know me, my grandpa is very special to me. He raised me up and he taught me everything I needed to live a good life. Yeah, so I was living with my grandparents until the age of 8, and then I moved to Beijing to live with my mom. So everything I learned to survive in this world, to be successful and to be happy, is from my grandparents. So if you are interested in how to live a happy, healthy, long life, or if you also love your grandparents, please continue watching. Are you ready? Let's get started. Alright, so before we start, I just want to give you some background information about my grandpa. My grandpa is currently 92 years old and he's still with us, which is a blessing to me. And he was born in 1927, and that was a difficult time for everyone. At his early 50s, he was diagnosed of stage 3 stomach cancer, and during that time cancer was not treatable in China, so everybody was so desperate, and he survived that. And at the age of 82, that was about 10 years ago from today, he had a heart attack. He actually had a myocardial infarction. Sorry, I really couldn't memorize the terminology, so I had to read it aloud. So he had a heart attack and it was really serious, but the doctor said he was in such a good shape for his body, and they did a bypass surgery on him, and it was very successful, and he was blessed. Another 10 years with us. So yeah, he's experienced a lot. He survived a lot. World War II, Cultural Revolution, heart attack, and cancer. And during this process, he learned a lot and he taught me a lot along the way. So today I want to dedicate this video to him and to everything that I learned from him, so more people can be benefited from his wisdom. Alright, so 10 things I learned from my grandpa. I have my list right here. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I learned from my grandpa is to exercise every day. So he explicitly told me that you have to exercise at least 40 minutes a day, regardless of what you do. It could be yoga, it could be, he practices Tai Chi, Qigong, and it could be running, it could be walking, speed walking, it could be doing some machines, going to the gym. But he said you have to exercise at least 40 minutes every single day. Yeah, and that's how he maintained his health. That's how he recovered from his cancer. And he said it's going to be helpful for your stress. He wished he knew when he was younger. When I was 18, he wrote me a letter and taught me a lot of life lessons, and this is the most important thing that he told me. So I've been obeying this rule every day. So every day, at the end of the day, if I didn't do any exercise, I would take a walk. I will do something because I know it's gonna be stress relief for me. It's gonna be helpful for my health. And now he's in his 92. He still exercises every single day. So there's not a reason for me not to exercise. I know some of us may have different conditions. He has heart disease, so he doesn't do cardio, but he does some minor like stretches to deepen his breath and also to exercise his muscles. So yeah, there are different things to do in every condition. So there is really no such excuse not to exercise. You could take a walk with your family. You could take a walk with your dog. just keep exercising every day for 40 minutes. All right, second rule, don't take things seriously. Be childish and have fun. So one thing unique about my grandpa, who is a 92-year-old male, an authority figure of the family, he doesn't take things seriously at all. When he found out he had cancer, he's like, that's just life. What can you do? If it's treatable, just treat it. Like, we will try everything we can, and don't take it seriously. It's just life. And he's very childish. He plays with his puzzles. He plays computer games every day, and he behaves like a child, and he hoards little snacks. And I remember growing up, we will go ask for allowance from my grandma, and we will walk to the grocery store. We will buy snacks, we will buy toys. He buys toys for himself, he buys toys for me. So I just remember, like, he's a little like big brother to me, which is so insane that he's like an old grandpa. But he said, like, the truth about life is to stay as a child. Like, no matter how old you grow into, no matter if you're a boss at work, no matter what happens, be childish because it makes you happy. Don't take things seriously. It's just life. The third thing I learned from my grandpa is never lie. I know sometimes there's such thing as dark lie, white lie, right? You lie about things just to make things easier, right? But something he taught me is that there is no such thing as white lie. There's a lie is a lie. You always tell the truth. And of course, there are different ways of telling the truth. Tell things in a very different way. There are opinions that I have. If you want it, I will tell you. If you don't want it, I want you to explore by yourself. But one thing I learned from my grandpa is that I don't lie. So the next thing is, it's never too late to learn a new thing. I've heard about things like excuses like that all the time, especially from my mother. I guess that's why we don't get along. Is that people would say, it's too old, I'm too old for this. I remember I had a conversation with my mom about like changing her lifestyle, being more open, having more friends, like the way she talks, the way she treats, deals with things around her. And she's like, I'm too old, I'm already over 50. Well, that was 10 years ago. So now she's in her 60s. But she said that she was too old to change. She was already in her 50s. She lived her life for 50 years living like that. So there's nothing she could change after that. But that's not what my grandpa told me. It's never too late to change anything. It's never too late to learn anything. I remember when I was in elementary school, my grandpa was in his 70s, and I learned how to use computer. I learned how to play simple games with computer, how to paint, we didn't have internet at home back then, but we did have a retired computer from my uncle. So my uncle used to be a computer programmer, so we had Windows 95. And I remember I was about 9 or 10 years old, and my grandpa was in his 70s. I would show my grandpa how to use a computer. I would bring my textbook of how to use computers step by step, like Computer for Dummies, like how to type, how to use Word, how to use Excel, how to use PowerPoint. I would bring those textbooks to home, and my grandpa will learn it from me. And sometimes he will read a textbook and go step by step, like how to use a computer. And he loved it. And ever since that, he has to have a computer in his house because he loves computer games. He loves playing puzzles in the computer. He loves playing like little card games. He loves to play little like solve different levels. You have to solve every problem to go to the next level. There's like mind games. And yeah, so I feel like if a person who was in his 70s and the computer wasn't even that popular during that time, that was first when computer was brought to the household in China, and he immediately learned that because it's never too late. It's just like learning a language, learning how to use computer, learning how to do yoga, learning how to dance. You're never too late. The only thing is just to protect yourself, from injury and things like that. So if you're watching this video and thinking about you were too late to learn everything, think about my grandpa. And I really love how he inspired us to try different things, like to start my YouTube channel, although the majority of YouTubers are younger than my age. I just remember it's never too late to learn anything. Alright, the next thing is to eat healthy, but at the same time eat whatever you want. Yes, and as a lifestyle blogger, I do believe in eating healthy, and I know my grandpa is trying to eat healthy every day, and we love to eat vegan food, vegetarian food, and my grandma was a Buddhist, so we used to eat a lot of vegetarian meals, and we used to like really pay attention to health and different vitamins. And my grandma, who was learning to be a dietitian at the time, when she was in her 70s, she bought all these books and DVDs, and she was trying to learn about healthy diet. And and we were all about eating healthy. But at the same time, my grandpa told me, if you want to be healthy, you need to think about your mental health. You can't be like restraining yourself from things that you really, really want. So everything is good if you eat in moderation. So if you love cake, eat a piece of cake, maybe every week, and it's not gonna kill your health, right? And if you love ice cream, take 2 scoops of ice cream like every other day. It's not gonna be bad for your health. And as long as you exercise and you eat other things that are nutritious, healthy vegetables and fruits and protein, it's not gonna hurt that much, because mental health is just as important as your physical health. The next thing from the list is don't look, don't hear, and mind your own business. And this is something that I'm still trying to improve of myself, because sometimes with social media and with a lot of things, I will read about things, I will hear about things, I will watch different things, and sometimes those things make me feel bad. I don't know, for example, if you're looking at your friends inviting another friend to a party but you were not invited, you may feel like, oh, why am I not invited, right? And you kind of feel that, I know we're not close friends, but I thought we were friends. That type of thing, it makes me feel bad. And at the same time, I know I've been really busy with everything happening in my life. I've not spent a lot of time hanging out with my friends. Maybe that's why they don't invite me anymore. So I kind of understand, but it still makes me feel bad. But I will always think about one thing that my grandpa has been doing in his entire life. So my family have hearing problems. I kind of have hearing problems as well, because I can't hear the low pitch sound. If a male is speaking in a low pitch sound very softly, I can't hear anything. My grandpa has to wear a hearing aid to be able to hear the conversations we have at the dinner table and things we communicate. But a lot of times he just chose not to wear it, and he was like making excuses, telling people, you can hear the noises, it bothers me, you can hear this, it bothers me. And we were trying to figure out like the way to what are the best hearing aid that he could use. But then later I realized that how peaceful his life is without hearing those noises, the gossips and the arguments and people say to each other and things that people say to him. Because he said sometimes there's so many things in our lives, they don't meant to hurt you. You saw it and you're hurt by that. So one solution is just not to hear and not to watch and not to look. And this really speaks to my heart, and I think nowadays with social media, we tend to be bothered and hurt by the things that were not meant to hurt you. And one thing that I've been doing is that if something creates a lot of negativity for me and I've been trying to deal with those, I would just choose to unfollow those things because I just don't want to be hurt. And I know we want to be kept updated with things that are happening in the society, with this world, but at the same time, if it doesn't work for you, just silent your phone, silent your social media, have a mindful morning of yourself, do yoga with yourself, think about your inner peace instead of think about what's going on with this world. Okay, the next thing is to treat people nicely and be good to the poor. So there are things so one thing I learned from my grandpa is to treat people nicely even if they don't treat you well, and treat people nicely and be good to the poor. This is something that I learned from my grandpa's experience with the Cultural Revolution. During that time, the educated people, the rich people were punished and murdered and killed and put in jail. A lot of people committed suicide during that time. And the poor people were given power. Some of them are really nice. Some of them over abused the power. But I remember that the people who helped my grandpa to survive are the poor people and the people who were working for him, and they knew my grandpa used to help him as their boss. My grandpa used to give them extra care with their family and children when they didn't have the ability to take care of them with the crazy working schedules. So they secretly rescue my grandpa from jail and send him and my family to the countryside to protect him. So something that I learned is that I know nowadays people are treated differently based on the way they're dressed. You know, if you wear something really nicely, you go to a department store, the salesperson will treat you really, really nicely, versus if you're just wearing a t-shirt and the shorts and sandals, and people may not take you seriously. I don't believe in that. I believe that you should treat people very nicely regardless who they are, regardless what they do, and you never know who's gonna help you at the very end. You never know if you're gonna be in a dangerous situation someday, and people who you would never imagine to help you may actually came back and help you. So something I learned from my grandpa is to be nice to everyone. Treat them nicely because they may ended up being the people who are gonna help you. Okay, the next one I learned is to enjoy alone time. I know a lot of times when people do not have a lot of friends, or people who are staying at home, people can feel lonely, and sometimes that happens to me. And I went to social media, I went crazy replying other people's posts, tried to be social. But then I just remembered something with my grandpa is, in my old community, where everybody knew everybody, my grandpa always said hi, smile, and help people when they need. But he never really stayed gossiping with any of his old friends. And I feel like nowadays people really promote extrovert people. People really want you to get yourself out there and meet new friends, to be on social media, to be open, and I am all that. But at the same time, I feel like we do need some alone time to be truly happy, to be mindful, to reflect on ourselves, to reflect on our own perspective, to reflect on our own feelings of physical and mental being. So something I learned from my grandpa with his health and his happiness is that he truly enjoys the alone time, and he dedicates this time to playing games, playing puzzles, to reading, and everything, to exercise, and everything that he enjoys doing alone. So I invite you to silence your phone, put it away from you, and just do something by yourself. Either do yoga, either practice yoga, either clean your health, either read some books, or do some meditations, and truly be mindful of your own being and your relation to this world to be truly happy. So the next thing that I learned from my grandpa is that he reads every day. By every day, I meant in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. He loves reading, and sometimes now that he has an iPad, sometimes he will read ebooks, and he just loves to read. He reads every magazine about stories and literature. He read all the newspapers of the local news. He read the novels and the literature, either classic or contemporary. He enjoys reading, and that's his relation to the world. He enjoys his little own time. At the same time, he is actually swimming in the ocean of books and knowledge, and he to emphasize others, and he loves to see and gain new perspective with the characters in the books. Nowadays, sometimes I feel like sometimes I could be mean, I could be hard on myself or others, but later I always reflect that if I were her, if I were him, what would I think? What would I do? And I truly believe that it was reading and my grandpa's reading habits, and he would buy me all of the books. And I truly believe that it was all of the books that he bought me when I was a child to really cultivate my habit of emphasize others, to put myself in other people's shoes. And that truly changes the game, that sometimes I could be mean to others, but then later I reflect on myself and then I try to emphasize, and I feel like it is truly the power of reading to enable me to do that. So yeah, I invite you to read one book at least every month, and maybe read different books during the day so that you are exploring different perspective. And I also invite you to comment down below, like, what books do you love to read, and what is the book that you recommend me to read. And recently I've been reading cultural literature to explore the culture and identity formation of different ethnic groups in America. I truly love this experience, and I'll put them in the description down below. Okay, the last one is the most important one, which is every day is a blessing. You're lucky to be alive. And again, this is something that we take for granted. There are a lot of healthy, mindful habits that we have every day. We're thankful for people around us. We're thankful for like things around us, right? We're thankful for everything. But at the same time, sometimes we forgot the fact that it is a blessing to be alive. Like, people get sick every day, people get into accidents every day. You never know what's gonna happen the next day. So one thing I learned from my grandpa is that he was diagnosed of stage 3 cancer when the medical treatment was not very advanced in China during that time, and he truly believed that it was a death sentence. And even after the surgery, when he was doing the biochem treatment, it was really hard, and after the first field treatment, his white blood cells count were really low, and he ran to this person, which happened to be a Qigong master who was practicing Tai Chi at the park, and at the hospital park, which is open to public. And then he shared his story, and that Qigong master taught him a series of Qigong. And the key is breathing with movement. It's not just the movement, it's not just the breathing, it's the breathing with the movement. And the Qigong master told him that it's gonna help him with his blood cell count, which he was skeptical during that time because his education was fully Western. He went to a Christian school for middle school. He went to a Christian school for college. He learned Western engineering techniques and things like that. Everything he learned was Western. So a Chinese Qigong master wasn't a new thing to him. But he was like, I'm blessed to be alive. So let me just try this out, right? Because tomorrow could be my day. I could die tomorrow. So I'll just try everything that I'm taught. And it actually ended up helping him a lot. And he later called the Qigong master to thank him. And they they started practicing Tai Chi and Qigong together for morning exercise. No matter what happens, he's always happy. I'm like, Grandpa, why are you always happy? He's like, I could have died 10 years ago. I could have died 20 years ago. I could have died 30 years ago. I could have died 40 years ago, but I didn't. God blessed me with another day of life, and I should appreciate and be positive and happy about that. So yeah, this is something I also need to work on, is to be positive, to be grateful for being alive. I know we're young people tend to take granted for that, and I think something I learned from my 92-year-old grandpa, from his wisdom, is that to be truly happy, you need to appreciate your life. You need to be appreciated that you're blessed with another day of life. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you found this video to be helpful. I hope you love all of the tips that I got from my grandpa. And of course, everybody has different life philosophy. Everybody lives a different lifestyle. So if you have a different lifestyle that works for you, that makes you happy, healthy, and please comment down below and share it with us so that we can spread the positivity and share the positivity with everyone. Alright, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoy the content of this channel, I really appreciate that if you subscribe to this channel. And also ring the bell so that you don't miss out any future uploads of positivity video. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!